Hi guys, thank you for joining me today as I create 8 Valentine's Day DIYs. For my first DIY, I'm going to be making a flower planter box centerpiece. I'm using 2 boxes I got from the Dollar Tree last year. They still have them there. I'm using these dowel caps, that's what they're called. I got them from Hobby Lobby, and I will be using them as feet for my planter. So to attach the 2 boxes together and to add the feet to the bottom of my boxes, I am using this Gorilla wood glue. And they say if you want to glimpse the future, you need space. And you said you'll put down your morning guns. Would you follow me to wonders? Take my hand and walk beside me in a world of thunder. Okay, so I let everything sit and dry for about 2 hours. And then I started painting it with my white chalk paint. And I'm just going to paint all of the sides except for the bottom and the inside bottom of the boxes. But I will be painting the inside walls. Now, my chalk paint is a lot thicker than normal. From my Christmas DIYs, I use this paint a lot, but I don't think the lid is screwed on all the way. So a little air got inside of it and it's a little thicker than normal. But I only have to do 1 coat of white paint to this box, and then I will let it dry completely. Once it's dry, I'm going to paint the middle section with this blush pink. It's actually called Camel Pink. It's by Apple Barrel. You can get this paint from Walmart. Some of the paint is 50 cents, some of it is 98 cents, it just depends, but it's really affordable. If you are concerned about getting paint on other sections, you can always use painter's tape. I have used painter's tape in the past to do projects like this. I did a kind of similar project in my one of my fall DIYs, and I did use painter's tape, but I just decided to try it and freehand it this time, and it worked out pretty well. Okay, so after the pink paint dries completely, I'm going to use this ribbon that's left over from my DIYs I did for my daughter's room for Christmas, and I'm just going to create a border along the top and bottom lines of the pink section. This kind of covers up the fact that the boxes don't match up exactly, plus it just adds a glam detail that I think looks really nice for this Valentine's Day project. You can see that I'm just adding a couple dots of glue on the sides and the front. You don't want to add too much because you don't want it to be too visible to spill out or anything like that. But I wanted to try to be as straight as possible and as tight as possible. And I'm just doing the same thing to the bottom, and except for I'm not going to tuck it in through the opening on the side, I'm just going to glue it to the side, and then I will repeat the same steps on the opposite side of the box.
What's it like to hold his hand when he tells you that you are all he wants, and it's midnight? Oh, I'm thinking about him. I have got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name, and I'm running
Now for the very center of the box where the two sections come together, I am going to place one of these paper glitter hearts that I picked up from Hobby Lobby. They were 50 or 40% off. I can't remember which one it was. So I just am trying to decide here whether I want to do the dark pink one or the light pink one, which I like best. And so I decided to go with the light pink one. And I just place it right in the middle of the two boxes. Next, I picked up some floral foam from the Dollar Tree, and I am just going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to stick it inside the two sections of the boxes. Now, I picked up some flowers from Walmart for $3. I got 2 of them, and I'm going to be using them to fill this planter box. I am going to be pushing up the leaves, and then I'm going to be cutting the stems so that I could stick them right into the floral foam like this. And I'm just going to place them in different directions so you don't see any of the floral foam, and the centerpiece just looks really full.
The clock keeps ticking. I don't know what I should do, and I wish you would be right here with me. My mind is filled with pictures of when we used to dance, but now I don't know where you are. I missed you so bad, won't you come back to me? I've got you in my head, you're all.
And for just about $6, you have a really nice Valentine's Day centerpiece that would be great for your dining room table or just anywhere, a shelf, anywhere you could place this, and it would just be a great addition to your Valentine's Day decor. You can see that I actually did end up adding 2 more hearts matching, but they're smaller, to the sides of my planter box. Okay, so for my second DIY, I'm going to be creating this sign using this wooden sign. It's double-sided chalkboard and just has a painted wood inside. I got from the Target dollar spot last year sometime. I'm just going to paint the bottom portion of the sign pink, and I cannot find, or I'm out of my painter's tape, so I take a chance and I decided to use duct tape. And then I just paint the bottom portion my camo pink. That's what the color is called. But I will go back and add a little bit of white to it because I just really want it to be very light pink color. And this DIY was totally inspired by a sign that I saw on Pinterest.
Tick-tock, the clock keeps ticking. Don't know what I should do. I wish you would be right here with me. I'm thinking of you. Thinking of you. I'm thinking of you. Wondering if you're thinking.
Once the paint is dry, I am going to add the word love to the sign. Now I use my Cricut and I got some metallic gold vinyl, but you could do letter stickers. I did a sign in one of my fall DIYs where I used glitter letter stickers. They were block letters, but it would still have the same effect and look really nice if you don't have a Cricut machine, or you can use a stencil and paint it. So always when I do projects with my Cricut, I always say that there are definitely ways that you could easily do the same project without a Cricut. It's not necessary to have a Cricut to do this DIY. And once I remove my transfer tape and make sure everything is in place securely, I am done. It's that easy. It is so adorable, but so incredibly easy to do. For my next DIY, I'm going to be making a garland inspired by conversation hearts. I'm going to be using this heart hanger, I guess you would call it, I got from Dollar Tree. It's cute, but you can see here as I zoom in that it wasn't in the best condition. And so I figured I would just turn them over, use the back side, and make some conversation heart inspired garland of my own, because it was connected by like some kind of paper like ribbon. When I ripped it off, it had a little bit of a rough surface left on there, so I sanded it down. It doesn't get it perfectly smooth, but smooth enough. So I'm just going to paint two of the hearts pink, and I'm kind of mixing two different shades of pink, my light pink and my kind of medium colored pink. I'm mixing, and I'm going to paint two of the hearts pink and two of the hearts red, and then one heart white. You could totally paint it whatever color you wanted to. Like the conversation hearts are usually like pastel colors. I didn't want to do that because I wanted to match my color theme that I'm going to have in my kitchen, because I am going to be placing this garland in my kitchen. So I wanted to match my color theme that I have going on. But you could do whatever you wanted. Now I let all of the hearts dry completely, and then I am going to be placing my wording on each of the conversation heart. I kind of looked at some different conversation hearts, chose sayings that I wanted to use, then kind of like made up my own one for the middle one. But if you don't have a Cricut, once again, use letter stickers. That would be really easy. I have a lot of letter stickers also, which is what I used before I had a Cricut. So if you get letter stickers, you could easily do this. Or if you want to use a chalk marker and you have good handwriting, you could totally do that also.
Okay, so the second part of this garland, I'm going to be painting these wood beads because I'm going to be placing wood beads in between each of the hearts. I got this huge packet of unfinished wood beads from Amazon. I'll link them below. And I didn't even buy them for this project at all. I use them if you watch any of my Christmas DIY videos, my Christmas DIY ornament videos. I use these beads in those videos, and I still have plenty of beads left, so it was an extra cost to do this project at all. So I'm just going to paint some pink, some red, and some white. Now, this is a very messy process, hand painting them like this. Normally, I would just spray paint them, like put them on either a skinny like dowel rod or a piece of twine and spray paint them, but it is so cold outside that they wouldn't dry properly, so this is my backup plan of just hand painting them. For each of the bead colors, I paint it and let it dry completely, and then I give it a second coat just to cover any spots where my fingers were or that didn't get covered. Now, once all the beads are dry, I'm going to be adding some extra beads because I'm going to be stringing this garland, and I need the hearts to be able to attach to the string. So I'm hot gluing just an unfinished bead to the back of each heart. Next, I'm going to take some of my twine string that I have, and I'm going to wrap some tape around the end. This is just a great tip if you're trying to string anything with twine, and it usually frays and stuff like that. Just put a piece of tape, any type of tape on the end, and it will like help guide it through the beads, no problem. So I start stringing the beads here, but then you could see I put on one of the conversation hearts, and I decided that I'm going to have to add some unfinished beads because my beads hide behind the heart just based on the size of the heart, and I don't want the painted beads that I painted the colors to match my garland. I don't want them behind the heart, so I put 2 unfinished beads and attach it to the bead that is glued, and then I put 2 more unfinished beads on the other side. Then I add my beads that have color.
Nothing more to say, let's just waste away. One more time is all we need. A bitter truth to face, not that innocent. We know what we did. I'm a sucker for your love, even though it's kind of toxic, babe. You know.
And my garland is finished. It was super simple, super cute. You can customize it with any colors that you want. And it really was only a couple dollars, if that, to make. So a lot cheaper than anything that you would go out and get at like Home Goods or Hobby Lobby or anything. For my next DIY, I'm going to be making another type of heart garland from these chalkboard tags that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to be using my paint, my pink paint called Pink Blush, and real red paint. I'm just going to paint 2 pink hearts and 2 red hearts. once my paint has dried completely, I'm going to be adding Mod Podge to the top of it, and I'm going to be adding some glitter. Red glitter for the red hearts and pink glitter for the pink hearts. I apply both a generous covering of Mod Podge and a generous covering of glitter, even though I do shake the excess glitter off, and any excess glitter I pour back in the container.
And then I just do the exact same to the pink hearts with applying the Mod Podge and then applying the glitter. I let that completely dry, and then I'm going to be using my ribbon. This ribbon was ribbon I got from Walmart for like 98 cents. And I like how it goes with my color scheme of pink and red. So first I try stringing it through the holes in my hearts. And then I decide that I do not like the look of this because it covers up part of the heart and I just don't like it. So I decide that I'm gonna hot glue the hearts to the ribbon. So I just put some hot glue on the back and I kind of space it out so there's 3 hearts in between each one. Now I have to decide what I'm going to do with the holes in the heart. If I had, before I put glitter on, if I had spackled them and painted over them and then put the glitter, it wouldn't have been noticeable. But since I didn't do that, I decided that I was going to use these paper mini roses that I had bought previously and didn't use them for anything. So I felt like these would be perfect to cover the holes. I just had to decide whether I wanted the red roses to go on the red or the pink to go on the red. So I just decided that I wanted to have a little contrast, so I glue the pink roses on the red hearts and the red roses on the pink hearts, and I just think it's so cute. And this DIY costs less than $2, but it is so cute, and I'm going to be adding it to my coffee bar for Valentine's Day. Okay, for my next DIY, I'm going to be making a little sign for my coffee bar. I picked this wooden little chalkboard or wooden frame chalkboard up from the Dollar Tree last year. Planned to use it during fall, didn't use it. Planned to use it during Christmas, didn't use it. Now I am finally using it for Valentine's Day. I am painting the frame pink in my camo pink color. I'm using my handy duct tape so I don't get paint on my chalkboard surface. If you do plan to do this project and you have painter's tape laying around your house, I totally would recommend painter's tape or even masking tape. Even though I didn't have my duct tape stick to anything, it definitely is more risky. Now I will be adding lettering or wording to the chalkboard sign. I am going to be using my Cricut, but this would be a perfect time to use like a chalkboard marker if you have good handwriting. I don't like my handwriting, so I decided to make it look kind of like chalk writing, but use my Cricut. But yes, chalk marker would be a great choice if you don't have a Cricut for this project.
this is just a super simple DIY. I'm glad that I finally used my little chalkboard sign, and it's going to look perfect in my Valentine's Day coffee bar, which if you're not subscribed, subscribe, because that video will be coming up later this week. Okay, for my next DIY, I'm going to be making what I call mini canister garlands or beaded charms for my canisters that I have. I'm going to be painting beads pink, white, and red. So in an effort to save money for Valentine's Day, I am reusing my Ray-Done Christmas canisters. I'm turning them around, but I wanted to add a Valentine's Day element that wasn't like putting a vinyl sticker on there that was going to stay. And I didn't have any, what is it called? I didn't have any reusable vinyl. I didn't want to go out and buy reusable vinyl. So I'm just like, I am going to be making these little tags, beaded tag, charms, garlands, whatever you want to call them, for my canisters. So I got this pack of wooden tags from Amazon. I'll link them below. And I'm just painting the two of them pink to match my wooden beads that I painted. Now I'm going to be decorating each tag differently. On one, I'm going to be adding my Cricut vinyl love word, and you could use letter stickers for this or chalk marker if you don't have a Cricut maker. The other one, I am just going to be adding a heart, like the hearts that I use for my previous project. I'm just going to use the smallest size one and a red one, and I'm just going to hot glue it on the tag. Okay, now that those are finished, I just kind of lay out my beads and the placement that I want them to go. I'm going to be using twine string. I am going to be putting tape around the twine on the other end to string it through the beads. But on this end, I'm just doing like 3 or 4 knots so that it won't slip through this tag, which the hole in this tag is pretty big. So I think I end up having to go back and do some extra knots so that it won't slide through there. Now for the first one I made, I'm showing you how I'm putting the beads on. I end up not liking the way that's hanging on the canister, so I do end up restringing it. So you will see this one hanging on the canister while I am making the second one, which the second one turned out much better. So I am once again just knotting the back, and then at the other end I will string through the beads. Once I get all the beads on, I am just going to make a pretty large loop on the end and then tie a couple knots around it right at the top of the wood bead. And this is what I didn't do on the other one, so I didn't like how it was hanging. But it's going to be pretty tight because I don't want a lot of extra room there. And then when I hang it on the canister, all I have to do is just loop the beaded part and the tag part through the loop, and it is going to be easy to take back off. And I didn't paint the back side of these at the time, but I did go back and paint them just so if they do get flipped around, it doesn't look as unfinished as that looked right there. But these, you can see that these were my two of my Christmas canisters that I had One of them I actually got as a Christmas present for Christmas. But I know that there's Valentine's Day canisters out there. I just didn't want to spend extra money buying canisters just for Valentine's Day when these were red, and I felt like they would work perfectly if I just turned them around. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you definitely should, because I have a upcoming Valentine's Day decorate with me, and you can see how I use these canisters in my decoration. And that's it. For less than $1, I turned my Christmas canisters into Valentine's Day canisters, and it's not permanent, and for next Christmas, and go right back to Christmas canisters. For this next DIY, I'm going to be turning a couple Dollar Tree items into a light up kissing booth sign. So I'm starting with this wooden arrow hanger that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to be painting it, and then I'm going to be attaching the kissing booth sign that I got from the Dollar Tree, adding some beads, and then adding some lighting. So the first thing I'm just doing is painting the arrow my pink color that I've been using for most of the DIYs for this video. The arrow is designed to hang pointing to the left, but I'm going to have to change that to point to the right because I want it to match with the way that the hand and the finger is pointing to the kissing booth. So what I'm going to just do is add a little bit of hot glue on the back of this sign so that the hanger actually hangs the other way. I'm also going to cut the twine string that is on the sign, and at first I didn't know if that would be long enough to hang the beads on, but it is not long enough at all. So I'm going to add some new twine to the sign. Just going to loop it through the hole, or stick it through the hole, and then tie several knots in the back so that it doesn't slip through. Okay, once I get the new twine on there and tied off and cut off the ends, I'm just going to string the beads on. I already have put tape on the ends. So I'm just going to put them through the beads that I'm going to use to hang on the arrow. Now at first I just hot glue the end of the string to the back of the arrow, but then I will go back and actually wrap it around a couple times just because I want it to be more secure, because I'm going to be hanging it on above my coffee bar and I have breakable things on it. I just don't want it to come loose and crash down and break anything. So, and it will be covered because I'm going to be adding lighting, so you really won't even see the twine. Now, if you saw any of my Christmas Decorate With Me videos, you would have seen that I use these fairy lights in quite a few different ways. So I am just going to be wrapping it around my arrow, and then I'm going to be wrapping it around the actually
actual kissing booth part of the sign too, so that it lights up. So I did a similar technique with my Christmas coffee bar, if you did see that video, but I'm just going to be taping it to the back side. I'm going to tape it so that the actual light portion is sticking out, but the cord or wire part I'm just going to tape on. So I'm not taping on any of the actual lights, just the wire part, and then I'm having the lights stick out so they are visible. And so I'm going to do this all around the perimeter of the sign, and I'm going to wrap it around 2 times. I'm kind of in love with these fairy lights. I have used them in so many different ways, and I have even more ways that I want to use them, and I think it's just great that it has a remote, so you can just turn it on and off whenever you want to. And look at this, it just looks so cool with the light up part of it. I just hung it on my pantry. That's not where it's going to be staying, but for now I hung it on my pantry, and I just think it's super awesome. For my last DIY, I'm going to be making a Valentine's Day gift set. I picked up these glass jars from the Target dollar spot sometime before Christmas, and I thought they would be perfect for Valentine's Day for multiple purposes. But I'm just attaching some more of my paper hearts that I got from Hobby Lobby to the top. The 2 jars are different shades. One's more of a fuchsia, a dark fuchsia color, and the other one is more of a light pink, almost a peachy pink color. So I'm just putting 2 different shades of hearts on there. In one jar I plan to put a candle, and the other jar I plan to put a bath soak. So there are lots of candle supplies on Amazon. You can get a kit like I got. You can get individual, purchase the wicks and everything. I got these natural wicks that came with with soy wax. I use soy wax for my candles now because it burns a lot cleaner than the traditional paraffin wax that people used to make candles from. So that's pretty much all I use, either soy wax or beeswax, for all the candles that I make. And I got a pretty big box because I do make a lot of candles. So I'm going to be attaching my wick into the jar, and I've tried a lot of different methods to get it to stick while I'm pouring my wax in, but today I'm using a dab of hot glue to get it to stick, and then I let that dry completely. Next, I add my centering device to keep the wick in place, and then I'm going to be adding some scents to my candle using lemon essential oil, lemon extract, and some vanilla extract. The vanilla extract does not mix in clearly. It's going to leave little brown spots in your candle, but the lemon extract is clear. So it's up to you whether you want to use the vanilla extract. So what I did is I poured a little bit in, I let it cool, and then I poured the rest of the candle in, so that it just helps the wick stay in place. And then I let it cool. Moving on to the bath soak I'm going to be making using Himalayan salt, some Epsom salt, some lemon verbena tea, and some lemon essential oil. I will also be adding some vitamin E oil later on. So I just made a little funnel, and then I'm just going to be pouring in the Epsom salt and the pink Himalayan salt and alternating, and then I will add the lemon verbena tea, and then just shake everything up really well so it just gets mixed in. You can dump everything into like a Ziploc bag. That's another alternative that I have used, a method that I've used in the past too, to make sure everything was just really mixed in. But I decided to mix it in the jar this time. So I just shake everything up. Then I'm adding some more tea I use a total of 2 tea bags. And then after everything is mixed really well, I will add my lemon, just a few drops of lemon essential oil, mix that again, and then I will add my vitamin E oil and mix that really well. I wish there was a way that you guys could smell this because both the candle and this bath soak smells so good. Now you can leave it as is, or you can decorate the jars further. I decided that I'm going to put XO on my jars using my metallic gold vinyl and my Cricut maker. I just thought that would be an extra cute element to put on there and show that they go together as a set. This is just a super simple gift idea that you could make for your sister or your friend or your mother or whoever for Valentine's Day. It's thoughtful and nice and it smells so good. And it's really easy and not very expensive. Thank you so much for joining me today as I created these Valentine's Day DIYs. I hope you guys found some inspiration and enjoyed the video. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel and join my little YouTube family and follow me on Instagram. Bye guys. Thanks for watching.